Good afternoon, gentlemen. This is Mahdi Hassan here, and today we're going to start our learning web design series where I'll be teaching you guys like how to create a basic simple website like web page, okay? We're using like HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So before I start, I'd like to give you some basic idea of like what exactly this course is going to do for you. So what can you do with web design? So web design is currently one of the biggest sectors where you could generate a lot of money for your to enhance your income or to help your support your family or to just like to have like some extra cash. But the thing is, web design since after the dot-com boom, web design has been like very booming field where like lots of companies and everything is like transitioning to like the online internet world. So it's true, kind of like half the world is almost already there, but still there is a lot of marketplace over there because some of the developing countries and a lot of the countries like they're still not on the internet, they still don't have the proper electricity and stuff. So that's why you still have an opportunity to actually learn some of the programming languages and actually do some creative work and design and stuff. Okay, so another important fact I would like to tell is basically that when we start with this course, once you learn one of the basic programming languages, even though HTML is not exactly a big programming language or anything, but you can still understand how the use of tags work, and once you learn that, you can apply that basic knowledge. We will move on to CSS, that's also kind of tags, and after that, once we move on to the other one, basically let's say JavaScript, then you will have a better idea of like how exactly the programming languages work, like how the programming languages work. So I'll be making another course on that one, but let's start with today's one. Let's not further talk anymore, so I've already talked 2 minutes. So simple startup guide. Let's go to the next slide. So I was just discussing the plan before the slide, how exactly we're going to do this. So it's basically we're gonna start with HTML, is basically the tag, and then after you learn that, we're gonna move on to the CSS, and after we have finished with CSS, we're gonna move on to the next one, that is JavaScript. And once you learn one of these languages, you could be able to design and like automate a lot of web applications, web like sites and other like web important softwares and stuff. Yeah, so let's move on to the next slide. So this is just basically like a blueprint or basic pen and paper design for your layout. Okay, so the first thing is that, so we call it wireframing. So let's say we're gonna think about like designing a website or something, and once we know that, we need to have like some basic sketches, right? So let's say you can't just directly start making something before planning, because we figured out like planning. So there's this quote by Mr. Einstein where he said that, the famous scientist, where he said that if he had like an hour of time to do some work, what he would do basically is 50 minutes 55 minutes on planning and 5 minutes on executing it, because that's like how the math problem goes and everything. Yeah, so wireframing is kind of like the blueprint or basic sketches or pen and paper design for your layout. So everyone should have should do that before like designing a website, because that gives you a brief idea of like what exactly you're gonna do with a website, which part would look like what, and what functionalities you have to add. And like there are some good guides over here, so I've added them on the link here. So it's called like by the Tuts Plus, webdesign.tuts Plus. Yeah, they have this beginner's guide to wireframing, so you can understand and learn more about it. So if you guys want, I can make another wireframing course, but I don't think that would be necessary because his one is really good actually. Yeah, it's better to use whatever is already out there. I don't want to create something that's already out there. I think these web design courses are already out there, but still this is just my first one, and I would like to start by something basic, so that I can improve myself on the way, and you guys can give me a good feedback of this thing. And okay, so now this slide contains the words, like I'll just read it out for you. So you want to learn web designing. we're here to make it easy. So this would be a step-by-step guide. This will give you suggestions. So I consider myself as a learner because I'm still learning these languages every day, like by practicing like on multiple projects. Okay, so basically, like I've been involved in multiple projects, like for different companies. So I've designed some of the websites, and I have my own portfolio website, even though I've like added WordPress, because WordPress is a content management system and I don't want to use raw code all the time. But the thing is, it's always better to learn it so that you can customize your websites. Okay, so I haven't done my one because I didn't get enough time, but let's not talk about myself, let's just talk about the course here. So the aim of this course is to give you like a personalized experience, that you're not learning from like a teacher or something, you're learning from a learner. So that is the aim here. So once we keep going, you'll understand, like you have some like 2-3 pictures in front of you. Okay, so basically with these pictures, what you can see, here's a picture of a monitor like iPad or like a small screen or a laptop. So with these things in mind, what happens is like you'll be able to design the website for any of these like platforms, let's say different sizes of screens. Okay, so once you learn it, you can see the screen sizes are different here, different here, different here, different here, right? Yeah. And let's move on to the next slide to understand it better. So this is like where I'll tell you guys about the 3 basic stuff about the like websites. Okay, so websites has like 3 parts. One is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So HTML is basically the structure of your website. Okay, let me just draw it out here. So let's say this is the structure, you can see this, but even if you have the structure, it doesn't look good, right? Structure is just like the basics of it. Okay, so you write things, you write contents, and everything is here. And after that, if you want to design it, you would need CSS. CSS would make it look like standing. Okay, like beautiful, very beautiful. I don't know what word that was, but I just said it. Okay, and then after you made it beautiful, you want to give it some activities, right? Some functionalities that when you hover your mouse over that thing, it needs to do something, or if you press this thing, it should do that. Or let's say you want to save something, you need some programming languages and stuff, right? So the behavior of the websites are mainly JavaScript, as you can see here. So I've already written it down here. It's called behavioral. Okay, and the CSS is presentational, and HTML is structural. So you understand the structures of the systems. Okay, so now today's course is about only learning to start with HTML. So I'll give you some basic idea about tags, how it works, and let's move on to this slide, so where we understand what is HTML. So as the basics go, like basically how things go around, like when people actually learn about stuffs, where they get the basics idea about like what is it like. So we're gonna start like just like that, and as we go along, we'll be improving on it. Okay, so I'd like to start with like, what exactly is HTML? This is the first question that should come up in your mind, right? Like everyone understands this like a web design language, but no one has any idea like what exactly is this, what does literally it do. Okay, so it is a standard markup language which makes the structure of a web page. Okay, so its full form is hypertext markup language, since there has to be a language to communicate with every computer, right, irrespective of location and people. This language can be used by like any computer around the world. So like it is better like known as language of the web, HTML, because let's say you have a computer, like someone is opening the website in here, someone is opening it here, and someone is here, and you want to send something to, like, not even send, like let's say you have a web page, he has a web page. Okay, 3 persons, and he's from like in one corner of the world, he's from another corner. It's probably in different language, doesn't matter. But the thing is, once you upload these things on the internet, what happens is this guy can see this guy's stuff, this guy can see this guy's stuff, right? So that means there has to be like a universal form of language, right? So this HTML works as the universal form of language based on the tags, because when you have the tags, like all the tags similar, like doesn't matter what language you use or whatever location you uploaded it on, like you can still find this website online. Okay, and that's why it's called the language of the web. Okay, language of the web. So you understand it better now, right? Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Let's move on to the next slide. Sorry about my English. Sorry, pronunciation, not English. So let's go. HTML has like three structures, basically three tags, where that is the main tag of the HTML. Okay, so let's say here's a picture on the right. You can see where like it's shown. So HTML start, and then HTML has head tag, HTML has body tag. Okay, so three tags over here: HTML start, HTML end. It's not shown here, but head start, head end, body start, body end. It's like a UML diagram, so you can understand it. So there are three main like tags for HTML. You can understand like head, body, and the HTML itself. Okay, so every element here contains tags, and tags is like we use this less than sign and greater than sign usually. So this would be the start tag, and the end tag would be greater than sign, then like a backslash, and then close tag, and you'd put your contents in between these two tags. Okay, so that's why it's a tag language, as we can call say. So they kind of have to be wrapped around these tags, right? So as you can see, there's an example here where we pointed out the H1. H1 means heading. So let's say if you want to show a heading like where it would be a kind of a big pointing words, right, like in your website. So that would be the heading tag. So we can use H1. So there is like heading tags like from H1 till H6, but we'll come to that later. So it has to be, this is the opening tag, and you put your contents in between, and then you finish the tag like this. So closing tag. Okay, so it is very important to put these tags on, otherwise you wouldn't be wrapping up your website, you know, like so it could mix up with the other one. So since we're starting with HTML, we're starting with like very basic content, so once we go through it, like you'd understand better every time. Okay, and there is always room for you guys like asking questions like after the session's done. Okay, so now let's go through the heading tags. So what are the heading tags? So as you know, heading starts with H, right? H. So that's why we have tags, and one's for the largest one, and it goes till H6. Okay, so there are 6 kind of tags, and it always has to be inside this tags, right? Like less than sign and greater than sign. So as you can see here, so there are 6 headings, and they have to be wrapped around these tags. So let's say we'll show all these things in practice, like when we go to the things, but it was just the basic part of the lecture. So you know, once you need like some basic theory idea, so once you get it, then you'll be able to understand how easy it is to implement. Okay, because some people like to just do it practically and then come back to those things like if they have any questions, but I think that is just a bit of waste of time kind of sometimes, because that is practical. I know that makes you learn faster and better, but the thing is, this way, like I've learned this way like all my life, and I think this is a better way. Like actually it depends on person to person, right? So let's get back to it. So there are different headers, so let's get back to other header tags, or like other tags. So some of the common tags in HTMLs are as you know, the heading tags I've already told in the previous slide, and there is a paragraph tag, because you know, once you make a website, right, so you have your website title, you have your menus and stuff. Like you guys have definitely visited like website before, right? So if you want to make something like that, so usually you have these headers, you have this banner over here where you usually see pictures and stuff, right? And the pictures keep sliding, like keep changing, like a gallery box or something, and you have the menus here, and you have another part over here, let's say some advertisement and stuff, okay, where someone is pointing something, and you have some writing here, you have some writing here. So these things actually mean like the paragraphs over here, these things, yeah, because you know, this is an image, so you have image tag. This is a gallery, so you have to use a programming language actually to tell them like every 2 minutes, like keep this rotating and stuff, whatever it is, yeah. And then you have this italic tabs with like I inside, then you have the bold tag with B inside, then anchor tag. Anchor tag is just like for like linking stuff, like let's say you have some word over here, and what you do is basically you put this anchor tag, and I will come to that later after we show some like more, but let's just go through these tags. And you have an ordered list tag, then block quote, like it puts the things in quote, and then you have the horizontal rule tag. It's like a break tag, so what it does is it spaces out like whatever the content you have before. And we already talked about the image tag over here, so yeah, I try to show you something over here. Image tag, you automate it with programming language, but it doesn't matter. Then you have the division tag. So this is a very important thing and these early rules and stuff. So what happens is with these division tags, what you can do is you can put like different things in different divisions. So let's say we can put this thing in the banner division, we can put this things in the header division, or we can put this thing in this selling marketing division, whatever it is. Okay, this is like probably some other one. It depends completely on you, like, okay, whatever you put your divisions on, like, okay. So let's move on. So how let's in the previous slide we just saw about the like lists and stuff, right? So let's see how exactly we'll be able to use this list. So this slide is about creating list, where we will be able to see like exactly what is list. So let's say, as you can see here in the slide, we have some name of some fruits here. Okay, so these are kind of ordered, right? And there are two kinds of list pairs. So one is ordered and another is unordered. So if we want to create a list like the example below, like here, so let's say if you want to have like these the name of these fruits like one after another, like say banana after mango, then peach, so one after another, so mangoes, bananas, peach, oranges, and grapes. Okay, so what you do is at first you have to save your HTML file as a.html. So I'll tell you all about it like in a bit, but let's just go through it quickly so you'll understand better. So so let's say we type list of fruits like this, and what we're gonna do is like we're gonna have this list tag where we will be writing I and then tag, and then you put your thing's name, and then you do /li just for the closing tag, right? You remember? And once we finish this, and what happens is we keep doing it like 2-3 times, like these 1 2 3 4 5 names, so 5 fruits. Let's say mango here, then we will have bananas, and then we'll have peach, oranges, and grapes. And then you finish the whole thing by like literally like this, and you save your thing, and you'll see these things like this. Okay, but since this is list in order, so that's why we use list tag. But if it's an unordered list, so what you can do is you'll have one of the things here, and then you'll have another one, you'll have another one. So I'll show you all of these things in the example, like when we actually show you things practically. Okay, so let's just move on to the next one. So I told you guys that I'll talk about the linking thing afterwards, right? So this is where it comes in. So the linking tag, it comes here like with a like the anchor tag as we told about, and you have to put the links, right? What exactly you want to point it to. So that is pretty normal. So let's say once you have a word here, so if you press it, it will take you to another page or another website or whatever you are linking it to. Okay, so let's say this is a thing, so name of something, you just point it to something else. So it is pretty normal. You have the tag, and the tag will point to something, right? So that's why we have this href, so it means href. Okay, so here it's pointing to google.com. As you can understand, this is pretty straightforward. There's no questions or nothing here. Okay, so you just link it to Google. Okay, so I think these things should be enough for you to make a very simple website, and I'll be showing you guys like practically after this theory session. So what now? So at the moment, with this thing, if you just have like a computer or a laptop, it will be able to like do um, like this basic stuff. So let's say you don't need a powerful computer or anything, you just need a basic laptop or computer where you have like a browser, like it could be Chrome browser, or it could be any Mozilla Firefox and everything. And there you must have like a notepad or something, right? So once you have the notepad, whatever you do, you write your codes and tags and stuff, like as you know, we've seen it in the first one, HTML, then head, then body, and then once we go through them, you finish the things, and that is your HTML code, right? When you have that, what you have to do is you have to save the whole thing as .html or .html extension. So basically, let's say you want to name your first one as like try or something, try.html, like this. Okay, and I've listed some of the really good websites here where you can get some basic help like from these websites. So let's say they have 99 Lime, they have Washington, they have computer services where you can see commonly used tags and everything, common tags, like where you can understand the tags, whatever you have. And there's a very good website like Treehouse. Then I forgot the name of the green website. Yeah, it's called W3 Schools. It's like the best one, I think. So this was like a very simple startup guide, and let's look at some of the very simple code so you can get an understanding of how exactly your site should look like. Okay, so let's say these codes has to be in between in your text editor and the things, and you'll have to save the whole file as .html. As what? .html. Okay, so just ask yourself as what .html or .htm extensions. Okay, so I'll be showing you some snapshot of some codes and like how exactly you have to make it, but let's not make it too big, but let's just keep going through it. Okay, so the first one, we have a HTML tag, then we have a head tag, then we have a title tag, then we have another head ending tag. Okay, so starting tag, ending tag, then we have the body tag as we described before. Like there are three important tags, right? HTML tag, then you have the head tag. Okay, it's kind of getting a bit messier here, but you would understand like when we show it. So there is another tag like title tag, as you understand, like this would give you the title of your web page. So we'll be showing everything practically in the next few slides and in the video ending. So see, this is my first web page heading, then you have web page heading 2, then some, if you want to add some images, then you finish your body and like everything like this. Okay, so there's a sample code in the text editor. Like I'm using Notepad++, which is a very good one. You can change the color, it looks pretty slick, right? Yeah, so you have the head tag again, and head tag and head tag finish. Everything has to be wrapped around inside sorry, HTML tag, and you have the title tag inside the head tag. It always has to be inside that. Then you have the head tag here, then you have the body tag here. Okay, and everything is wrapped around the HTML tag, right? Yes, you understand it. So all of the codes here, like you have the heading tag here. Do you remember the heading tag that we just learned? Yeah, which actually points you to the like how big is gonna be your headings and stuff. So this is the basic HTML, and these are the file names in the things. Once you know about these things, what happens is then we'll move on to the next part of the web design basics, that is CSS. And once you get the CSS, so at the moment our website is going to look something like this. So it's I've opened it in the Chrome browser, so the H1 tag is looking like this, H2 is looking like this, then paragraph is probably like this, and I haven't like inputted any image, but still it's showing some basics, right? Like it's like anchor tag or something. Yeah, it doesn't show the image here. So if you link your image, or if you input some image here, put the sources, your image would come here. Okay, and so this is the like file name here, first webpage.html, and it's coming as the title because I've saved it like this. And yeah, this is my Chrome browser, and here is some slides. You can stop the video and actually look into these ones, like how exactly it looks in a real world coding, like in the cool text editor with like some dark shade effects and stuff. It looks nice, right? So yeah, here's the title tag, here's HTML. We started with like this, and for HTML5 this is the things. I'll be adding more commentaries here so you can understand better. So for HTML5 we have this new feature, we'll call it like doc type HTML, so that HTML5 is like the new version of HTML where it can have these different functionalities where you can add videos, you can add like audios directly. You don't have to like put the sources and stuff, so you have those tags over there, and that's quite nice, like quite slick. So it's better for you to learn to do the HTML5. But the thing is, the basics is kind of similar, but the thing is, once you learn the HTML, you can do the HTML5 but just going on to different websites and getting the tags from there. Okay, then we have the head tags here, you can see, and once you finish we have the div tag here. We're telling this as a container because container tag is classes basically. Oh, we want to talk about class afterwards. So this is going to be putting different divisions. So you have the box 1, you have the box 2, then you have some center tag in HTML5 basically where everything would be coming around in center. Then this is the comment tag where you have like greater than sign, then you have what do you call it, the exclamation mark, then 2 dashes, and then you write your stuff, and then 2 dashes, and then close. So this is the comment tag. Okay, and then we have another division here, points, third paragraph, fourth paragraph. So for you to understand. Okay, so we'll go into these. So this is the next page of the websites, because not next page, basically my whole code, I couldn't put everything in the same page because it didn't look that good. And you have a footer tag where you can put like context, health, and reference. So let's have a look in the thing. So this is sample website that looks like it. So I started with Mahdi Hassan, so that was the thing, like header in the header thing, and we have the menus here as you can see, and this is the image I try to put in there. It was the first paragraph, second paragraph, third paragraph, and this is the footer where you put your context, help, and everything. So this page was designed with like both HTML and CSS, because as you can see, there's different lookings. And do you remember the center tag was we talked about? Like everything is in center, right? And everything is in container right now, because everything is kind of centered here, so they have enough spaces everywhere, this side, on top and on the bottom. Okay, I couldn't take the whole picture because it's just a screenshot of it, so you can understand it better, right? So guys, this was the whole thing, and all of these codes can be found in my GitHub profile. So yeah, you can go to github.com and search for Mahdi117, and then you would see my basically, what you call it, the directory, Learn Web Design. So there I put all these codes over there, and some of the very good suggested sites for you to learn is like Free Code Camp. It's a brilliant place to learn, and there is another one like Code Academy. I think it was very popular a couple of days ago, like just 1 or 2 years before, but these days they're trying to make everything for money, right? Like I mean, everyone does it for money. I'm doing this thing for money as well. I'm just getting started today, but in future I'll probably do that. I think you guys would understand it. Maybe if you're a beginner, like, you wouldn't, but in a couple of days time you'd understand everything is about money. So for any assistance, I think this simple guide should be alright for now. And if you guys have any questions or you need any assistance, just contact me, okay? Mahdi-san. I'll leave my profiles and everything. Just comment on the thing, okay? Thank you so much for watching.